They went to war without bullets. No rifles, no bombs, just paintbrushes, loudspeakers, and imagination. Their mission: to trick the Nazis into believing in entire armies that didn't exist. This is the story of the Ghost Army. 1944. Europe was burning as Allied forces fought their way across France after D-Day. The cost in human lives was staggering. Every inch of ground gained was paid for in blood. The US Army knew they needed a new kind of weapon, an unconventional edge that the enemy would never see coming. So they turned to not the scientists or engineers, but to artists, painters, sound engineers, stage designers from Broadway, even fashion illustrators from New York City. These creative minds were recruited into a top secret unit, a battalion unlike any other. The 23rd Headquarters Special Troops. Their battlefield was the mind, and their ammunition was deception. This small, hand-picked group of just over 1,000 men was tasked with a monumental mission: to impersonate entire US Army divisions, creating illusions so convincing they could fool the German High Command. They were about to become the master illusionists of World War II. Their arsenal was straight out of a stage magician's handbook, but on a massive military scale. They created an army that existed only on paper and, more importantly, in the enemy's mind. Their primary weapon was the inflatable rubber tank. From a distance, especially from the air, these decoys were indistinguishable from the real thing. A handful of men could inflate an entire armored column in a matter of hours, making it seem like thousands of tons of steel had appeared overnight. But the illusion wasn't just visual. They used powerful loudspeakers, capable of being heard miles away, to blast pre-recorded sounds of rumbling tanks, marching troops, and bridge construction. They called this sonic deception. At the same time, a dedicated team of radio operators transmitted fake messages, creating a complex web of spoof radio traffic. They mimicked the unique sending styles of other units' radio operators, creating phantom generals and ghost divisions that maneuvered across the map, drawing German forces away from real Allied targets. They could move an entire phantom division of 30,000 men overnight, a feat that would take a real unit weeks. These weren't ordinary soldiers. They were magicians of war, and their stage was the European theater. The Ghost Army's operations were daring and incredibly dangerous. In Normandy, just weeks after the D-Day landings, they broadcast fake radio chatter for days, pretending to be a massive force moving toward Calais. This brilliant deception helped hold German divisions in place, far from the real battlefront, giving the Allies precious time to solidify their beachhead. Later, during the desperate days of the Battle of the Bulge, when American lines were stretched to their breaking point, the Ghost Army stepped in. They positioned hundreds of their decoy tanks under camouflage nets, broadcasted the sounds of a busy armored division, and made it look like major reinforcements had arrived at a weak point in the line. German scouts reported a significant American buildup, and the enemy hesitated, convinced they were facing a much larger force. Every illusion, every trick, bought the Allies critical time and saved thousands of lives. They performed this magic over 20 times, often operating dangerously close to the front lines, sometimes with only a few hundred men holding a position meant for 30,000. Who were the men behind this elaborate theater of war? Many of them would go on to become household names in the art world. Fashion designer Bill Blass, minimalist painter Ellsworth Kelly, and wildlife artists Arthur Singer were all part of this secret unit. They used their artistic talents, not for galleries or museums, but to deceive the enemy. They painted fake divisional patches on their uniforms, frequented local cafes to spread false rumors, and sketched in the open, knowing German spies were watching. But during the war, their contributions were completely unknown. They couldn't tell their families, their friends, or anyone what they were truly doing. Their victories were silent. Their impact was invisible. Their mission was a masterpiece of military deception that no one was ever meant to see. Their art was the art of war, redefined. For decades after the war ended, the Ghost Army's mission remained one of the US military's most closely guarded secrets. The files were classified, and the soldiers who had wielded imagination as a weapon were sworn to secrecy. Their stories were locked away, and their incredible contributions to the Allied victory were left unrecognized and overlooked. It wasn't until 1996, more than 50 years after they deployed their first inflatable tank, that the mission was finally declassified, and the world began to learn the truth. These men, these artists and engineers, were finally recognized for their genius and their bravery. In 2022, they were awarded the Congressional Gold Medal, one of the nation's highest honors. Their story proves that courage isn't just about what happens on the battlefield, but also what happens in the mind. They fought not with weapons, but with wit. They are a testament to the idea that in the face of darkness, creativity and imagination can be the greatest weapons of all. This is Silent Warriors Studio, uncovering the history you were never meant to know. Thanks for watching. If you were inspired by the story of these unsung heroes, be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more incredible stories of Silent Warriors. We'll see you next time.